Okay, take 21. Is this 21st?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. That is very amazing. This is session 21. And, I think so far we've covered a pretty good amount of material and we learned a lot of cool stuff. And today will be the end of, I guess, chapter one of our camp. I mean, code camp. I don't even know what we call ourselves, a code camp, I guess. And then after this, we will start chapter two, which is more of a hands-on, more problem-solving and real-world application of the things we have learned, and expanding, of course, concepts like classes, inheritance, methods, and all that good stuff. Scope, memory management, and all that good stuff, and real programmity, crunchity stuff. Um, Thank you very much for hanging in there up to now, because I think what we have learned it's sort of the framework, kind of just the outs, how it is. Wait, what was that word? You guys remember that? The scaffolding, yes. The scaffolding of being a programmer or a full stack developer. Now we got the scaffolding. Yeah, sorry, what's that?
I was gonna say, is scaffolding gonna be the word of the day?
It is, it is. Gotta remember, yeah. Yes. So we have that. So now we can build and move onto things and branch to things safely or safer. So what we're going to do today is everybody remembers that we have a sweet database, right? Okay, just a little refresher. We have our database server, and we call it SQL Express, or I guess well, the name of our computer is a SQL Express, and it is on my computer, and I am accessing it through the software called Server Management Studio. So remember, Server Management Studio is just a way of accessing and fiddling around with databases or with a database. You connect to a database using the Server Manager. Is that cool? I mean, you guys know that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
And that then we have databases here. So in our database server, we have these cool things here, and we got databases. And in our databases, we have one database, which is what we're going to be messing around with. And let's go. I'm going to expand that in. And remember, inside the database, you have all these things. But for us, what makes sense, at least for now, are the tables, because the tables are what contains all the information that we require, that we interact with. That's the gusto right here, right here. And like we talked about before, since this is a relational database, the way it works is by tables, and the tables represent can represent items, or they could hold characters, so they can hold information about certain things, and they have rows and columns, and they can be related to each other. For example, a character can have many weapons, a character can have items, and so on and so forth. And that's kind of an overview, like, or a quick review of what a database is. So far, so good. You guys should be champs at this already. You guys should be pros. Um, and of course, we use SQL, the language, to query and interact with it, at least in this way. All right. We did most of the database related stuff from the last class, right? So let's move on to the actual programming. And we're here, and we have connected entity framework, as you can see from here. And entity framework created the representations for the tables. For these tables here. And they created classes so we can use them. Don't freak out about any of this. Don't freak out. It is all good. The only thing you need to remember that it is a class and it has these properties or fields. And we can interact with it, like set a name, job, or get an age or level, and all that good stuff. And then we can send it back to the database by interacting with a database object. Okay, so we have classes here. We have an item, weapon, and all that good. So for now, let's just mess around with a character. Let's see. Again, I'm going to assume that we're kind of caught up with the database part. So let's go ahead and go on to the second part, which is make a create character page, which is we're going to be collecting data from the user, and we're going to create characters with the data that the user provided. That's number one. Number two is, well, first of all, let's do it like they do in the Discovery Channel here. Let's try. Let's create a task list. Okay, remember, break everything down into tasks, and then break those tasks into logical steps that you could follow. That's what a computer program is, right? So break it down. If you're not sure how to do anything in code, that is okay. As long as in your mind or you could verbalize what you are trying to do, that is the most important thing. Secondary is just look up or figure out the actual syntax. But as long as you will always be in the right, as long as you can verbalize or at least think through the problem and take it down by steps and try to describe it. And not only in programming, in life, really. I mean, that's how it should work, or that's how it works, I guess. You got a goal. You break it down into realistic steps, and then you try to stick to those steps as best as you can. Right? Okay.
Pretty sound advice.
Oh, thank you. Right there, $5. That is $5. Anyway. Okay, so for the first task is we're just going to, for now, what is the first thing? I think should we do the roster first, because we want to do several things. We want to create a roster page in which we display all the characters that we have. That is one. So yeah, roster page, and that displays characters. So it displays the existing characters. Okay, number two. Then what? Create a character. Create character page. Maybe number three. If we're pros, maybe we'll get to number three. Maybe delete a character. Well, yeah, no, we're good. We're pros. Let's do this. Delete a character. And for edit character. We may not get through all of this. Actually, we are. I think I'm pretty sure we are. But let's see. Let's focus on one. Remember, one step at a time. One step at a time, one day at a time. So let's go to roster page here. So first of all, let's go back here. Let's go back to actual programming and dealing with MVC, web pages, HTML pages, and all that good stuff. Controllers, actions. I know we haven't been there in a bit, so let's get back in our groove. So right now we're using the home controller. And do you guys want to create our own controller, a new one, or just use the home controller? It's up to you.
The home controller is good unless we have a reason not to.
Yeah, we don't have a reason. Let's keep on the home controller, I think, at least for now. Okay. I mean, we know what the controllers are, and you guys know all these things here, so we should be fine. All right. So in the home controller, what's the first step? Roster page. Displays character. So remember, we're living in the MVC world, right? MVC world. So if we live in the MVC world, what kind of stuff can we do here? Well, what do you need? We got a roster page. So what kind of stuff do I need? Well, do I start with an action? What do I do? I mean, it's the first action.
Yeah, you start with an action.
Okay. So remember, we're gonna be interacting in a web page. So I'm going to assume that there's gonna be a link somewhere, right? That's the first thing you should always assume, right? Assume that you are clicking on something or hitting a button or or anything of the sort to start your action or whatever you want to do. So in this case, remember, always describe the problem, go through the flow of the problem, what you're trying to do. So in this case, we want to click on a button or a link to go to a page that displays the roster. So let's assume that I hit a link somewhere. And that link will take me to the home controller and then an action. Can I trust you guys with that? I mean, you guys know that already, right? Because you were doing it earlier. So, action result. And let's go and call it what? Roster?
Roster.
Yeah. Roster does not take any, at least for now. Routine view. Yeah. Roster does not need any parameters, correct? Doesn't take any. So we're just clicking there to display some information. So I click on the roster. I click on the link that says, hey, go to the roster. And then I am going to go to the roster and I'm here. So what exactly is the roster? What is it? Well, I mean yeah, so the roster in our world would be a collection or a list of characters, right? That we're getting from the database because that's what we are interacting with now. Does that make sense? Is that cool?
Makes sense, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know this probably or definitely a little bit blurry, or how to retrieve things from the database, like more than one, because remember, we've just been getting certain ones, like find something with the ID 4 and whatnot, right? But we haven't done how to retrieve the whole database in a while. Okay, so this is good because this is good practice. So first of all, let's describe what do we need. Okay, I'm in the roster page. Talk to me. This is you. This is
You mean
homework.
access to a database.
Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to create a database object then, and I called mine GameDB, I think it was. Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. So my database object, the one that connects to the database, on the last session I called it GameDB when I created it. So the way you do this is just say, hey, new, and then GameDB. And that creates an instance of the class GameDB, which when I created it connects to the database magically, because that's the power of Entity Framework at just .NET in general. It's really powerful. So now I have a really magical connection to the database, which I can use to do all sorts of cool things. Okay, so I have a connection, and what else do we need? Dan, hit me.
Looking for my roster page. Where is it? We want to do a list
Yep.
of characters.
Beautiful. Exactly. And list. What is list?
It's an ordered list, like
Not ordered. No. It's a collection.
collection from the database.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, list is a collection. It's a data type. Um, that holds a group of things. What is another type of collection that we have encountered before?
An array.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah. No, I got to keep checking you and testing you because we're going to be using it. It's very important. So far, collections or list of art, well, yeah, list of, I don't know, bits, boxes, and memories, right? They're called collections. So arrays and list. Yeah, so it's kind of a data types. And so we're creating a list here, sorry. So this is going to be a list of characters. And we're just going to call, well, let's call it roster. How about that? So I just created, or I want to create a list that is going to hold things of type character. All right. And since I'm going to put it there, so where am I going to get it from, that list? How am I going to fill it? Where am I getting that list from?
The database.
That's right. That's right. So database. And what table do I want information from?
Character table.
Boom.
Hey, it's highlighted for us.
Yep.
To list.
Exactly. That's a special, yeah, it's a special word or, well, a special function or method that turns it into a list for you. You don't really need it in certain places or sometimes, but for now, this is whenever you display things, just get used to it. I think.
It seems there's a couple different ways to handle lists. It'll take some time to get used to that.
Yeah. Well, that is in that phase 2 of the module of our code camp, because we're doing a lot of these things, and I know you guys are like don't understand 100%. I ask you to kind of take it on faith, a lot of the stuff we do, but as we go on, it's going to become clearer why we do it and why you should do it, or sometimes why you shouldn't. But the important thing to remember, the takeaway here is this is somewhat okay-ish, sort of. But since we said that it's expecting something of type list and this, then you kind of say you have to turn it into a list. I won't get into too many details, but this is a list, but it's kind of like a not exactly this type. It's kind of like a cousin in a way. So that's why it's saying, hey man, it's not the same thing, but you know, it sort of is. But anyway, so this returns, this says, hey man, okay, from the database, give me the character table that has all the characters, put into a list, and then put it here. So here I have everything, pretty much all the characters in here. So all these dudes and dudettes. Oh wow, we have no women here, man. This is like a sausage fest. Shit. Yeah, it is exactly like a sausage fest. We need to have some diversity here. Well, Bobby could be a girl name, perhaps. I don't know. But yes. So the roster will contain each row and each of these guys. You know, each of these. It's a character here.
Here's an interesting one. I actually know a person named Thora. Thora, female.
Okay. So that we could get away with this. We just make kind of like a. We could pretend that's a name or something. That's a great name though. Thora, like Deja Thoris. Okay, so again, we got the list and we took it from the database and we put it in here. So now we have a cool list of characters. And I know this is going to be weird, right? But I want us to look at it and I want us to see it live. I want you to see the live data to see if it worked. And I want you to see what it looks like in memory and what it looks like when you get all the data and how it comes back and how it is put here. Okay, so now I'm going to run it and I'm going to put a debug right here. Okay, right here. So I put a stop point here, so then we're gonna stop here. Okay, so I'm going to run it, and then we're gonna examine the data, what it looks like, if it works. If it didn't work, then it would be null or it will crash. So remember, we are in the home controller, and the action is roster. So since I don't think we have created any links or anything like these guys, we're going to have to go straight there. So roster, whoops.
Oh,
That's right. You see, you guys are, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You guys are on point right now. Home roster. And I'm going to hit enter. All right, boom. Magically. So remember, don't forget the flow. Don't forget the flow. What is the flow here? The flow, the MVC flow. Go to the home controller. .NET says, hey man, you want to go to the home controller? Okay, go to the home controller here. Okay, so where in the home controller you want to go? You want to go to the roster action? Okay, over here. So we go to the roster action. So then we're over here. So then line by line we go through it. Like GameDB is created. We get some stuff, hopefully from the database, and then we stop here. So now, if anything, we got anything from the database, I want to see what's in here, what's inside roster. So, what's a couple of days? Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Your locals, they popped up underneath. You started moving the window around.
Oh yeah. So there's a couple of ways to see the value of a variable at that time. One is right now time has stopped pretty much because I set a debug point over here, right? Right here. See? Yeah. Set a breakpoint here. Yeah, breakpoint here. So it stopped. So here it's kind of like the matrix. You stop reality here and see what the status of everything going on at this point, at this time. So in the execution of this program right now, we look at roster just by hovering over it, and then hey, okay, so we expand it. So let's see what's in here. Oh, so in the 0th and the first one we have Caesar. Sweet. So Bard Wizard. I'm level 1. I'm age 169. And I got MP6, and so it looks like I have some data here, and let's see if it's correct. So the first guy, if we can go to the database and look at the first one, and indeed it's Caesar and a Bard Wizard, age 169. So we can kind of look at them and see if we got, if the data, we got the correct data. And another way that we could do it, like you mentioned just now in the locals window at the bottom here, just expand this, and then we can see. We can see all the information of kind of the frozen variables in memory right now and what their value is, which is pretty cool. Okay, so you guys get that? We're good with that, right? So we did get all the information from the database here. And now I have stopped execution here. It's going to return the view. So what do you think will happen once I continue execution and it's going to return the view? Let's see. Dave, what will happen?
It's gonna have an error because it's looking for the Raster view
View.
page.
God damn it, you guys are good. Mm. And the roster page does not exist because it's going to look for it in the home, under views
Control.
home.
The views.
Yeah, no, you're correct. Yeah, the home controller. That should be the appropriate view folder here. And there is no roster HTML file that says, hey, to match with this, by convention, of course. So let's see. Well, I'm going to continue. Dan, do you agree? Do you think we're going to see something here?
We're gonna see something. There's no page for it.
Exactly. No. I mean, like, I was asking you, we're going to see something. Exactly. So there is no page. So it's telling you, hey, man, where? What? I don't see any roster page here. I look here, here, and none of these things exist. So and you know, that created or something, because that was not good. But anyway, so it tells us, hey, man, we got here, but we didn't return a page that exists. So that was the next step, though. Should we create a page that exists, or that we should go to when we go to the roster action?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do that. I like it. How do you create a quick page?
Copy paste.
That's right. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna do this. Step up the page now. Okay, so remember, double click it just to make sure we're in it. Okay, roster. Let's do this. Remember, the more we do this, the more easier it becomes second nature. Once it becomes second nature, it's on like Donkey Kong. Okay, so since we're gonna start from scratch, we don't need any of this crap. This is a roster page. Only thing we need is, hey, this is a roster page. Oh, this is the roster page, which is even better. Okay. So now this is where it gets interesting. This is a little, more of the advanced stuff. So we have a roster object, which is a list of characters. So and then we have a roster page. Well, what do we need here? We have a roster page. What does it require?
You need a model of the list.
That's right. God damn it. Yes. This is advanced shit right here. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So we're going to be using a model again by convention here. We want to tie this page to a certain model. That way we can use it and make it convenient for us. And the model that we're going to be using is going to be a list of characters. So the important thing is
a list, our
database
name, controllers. Oh, I'm sorry, project name.
Yeah, this is gonna be weird because it's always kind of strange. This would actually work, I think. Because when it created it in the root. Like if you go to it, yeah, it's over here somewhere. Hold on. Anybody seeing our date? Oh, okay, DMX. Hold on. Yeah. You say you created it in the base namespace. Remember before when we created it in the game.example.controller.action.whatever, and then you needed to put all of that in here. Since it didn't create it in, it created it in the base namespace, which we'll again go over in phase 2. You don't need to put any of that crap. It understands that it will be a list of characters. And that's going to be the model. That's why I always say, always focus on the last one. That is the type that you want. Then find it, by going through any kind of namespace. Okay. Does this make sense? Sorry, I don't know if I lost you guys here. You guys good?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, yep. So yeah, so the model is going to be something of type list of characters. And that's what it's going to expand it. I mean, that's what it's going to expect. And so now, since I have a list of characters, what can I do with a list? The model, remember, the model is, you see that? That's pretty strong. You see the model, it tells you what it is, the list of characters. So now that we have a list of characters, and we could use model to access that. Basically, model is a variable that represents a list of characters. So how do I display them? What can I do?
You can do a table.
Sure. How? Okay. I mean, how? What would I do in the table? What kind of?
Or you can type the name, the job, the
Okay.
level, gold, and then on the side it'd be at model.name.
Okay. But I mean, you kind of, sort of, right? You're half right.
So we would want to contain that table. We could do it in like a for each.
Exactly. You see, you guys are forgetting something because we are representing, we have a list of characters here. You guys remember that, right?
Right.
So if we would have had only one character, if the model would have just been character, it would have been cool, right? But it's a list. So therefore, we need to traverse that list, probably using some kind of loop. And in this case, we are going to use the for each loop because we already know how many items there are, if there are any. So, and it's kind of the most convenient to use in this case. Do you guys agree and do you guys understand? I mean, you guys know what's going on.
Somewhat
Yes.
agree. I haven't explored all the loops very well. So.
Okay.
But the for each we've tried and tested.
Exactly, yeah. Well, so my question to you is, does the for each group, I mean, for each loop satisfy the task that we need to do here?
Yeah.
It does, yeah. So that's good, and that is kind of the whole thing. But you are correct. You are correct. And yes, yeah. In this case, the for each is definitely. So in order for us to test it out or see, if you remember, if you don't remember how the syntax of anything works here, you could sort of try to. It helps you out. You know, IntelliSense helps you out. So you could do the at, since that means we're going to be doing kind of C# code in the HTML file here. And then we'll go for each. Oh, so we got the for each, right? So it says, hey, tap twice to insert for each snippet. So this thing has code snippets that help you out. So I'm going to tap twice. Boom, look at that. And it helps you out because it helps you with the whole syntax and structure of the for each statement, which is pretty sweet. So it says, you know, for each item, which is the single one in the collection, do some stuff. So collection, what's the name of our collection?
Character?
No. What's the name of our collection?
List character.
Yes, but what is representing that in this case, in this view?
Oh, model, right?
Exactly, yes. Oh, yes. In model. So model represents the list of characters that we got, and this is going to represent each one. on the characters.
I think you just proved that my roster page would have been broken.
Ah, what happened? Yeah.
I screwed up that line. I had the character instead of the item.
Oh no, well that is. Item is character here.
Okay.
Because character is gonna be the single one that you're gonna be doing things to in for each one in the model, which is a list. For each one in the list.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The model right now, it's representing a list of characters. It won't always do so, but in this case, it does, so therefore we can use a for each statement on it. All right. So, n bar is just, the keyword that says it could be any type, so it doesn't matter. So it's good. All right, so for each character in model, and you could just say it. I mean, it flows in natural language as well. Okay. So for each character model, then now I can display the information inside, right? We could even create a table, I think. No? So should we create a table for each one? I mean, we don't even need to, but why not? Row. Let's create a row for, I don't know, TT. Let's see. All right. I mean, we don't have to create one, but let's get into the habit at least for now, right? Just to see what's up. So let's see. So each row. So in the row, in the first column of the row, let's have what, the name, perhaps? So name. And then let me just space this that way you guys, it's easier to see. All right. So name, and how do I access the character? I mean, like the actual name of the character in here.
At character.
That's right. Yep. There we go. So that is one row. And then let's do another row. What's one of the other fields we got? Job, I guess. And then add character job. Sorry, this is going to look a little bit ugly. I'm just kind of being lazy here. And then what else? They're gold, I guess. Well, their age, I guess. Let's do with age. One thing that you're noticing, are you guys noticing something? How this looks kind of like a mumbo jumbo, right?
Oh yeah, it's sorted in tabs and
like all these things here. Yeah, this is HTML, and that's something you kind of just have to get used to. And although now it looks daunting, but after a while you kind of could just tell what exactly it will look like or what it is just by practice and experience. So don't worry about it. It does look daunting now, but it won't always do so. I am going to space it.
We've looked at some of those pages. They always look nasty.
Exactly. Yeah, you remember that, right? Yeah. But for now, I'm just spacing it so it's easier to see and easier to understand. Like this. I mean, that looks much better and easier to read, right?
I feel like that's the convention that most people aspire to, but I actually like it better the old way you had it. Like if we had like 10 of those lines, you just have them straight down. You know what each one does.
Yeah. I mean, and it's good when you could all see it in one line, and you could see a whole bunch of it, like one under the other. And you can see the more information you get, especially in HTML, the better. With this, you have to scroll and then keep scrolling, which, it can be a little weird. Okay, so now we're showing we're showing the name, we're showing the job, and we're showing the age. And I guess for now that is good because that's all we want to do now. And let's see if this works. I mean, have we well, we have for each character, and for each of these characters, we're displaying this information. And are we forgetting anything? Would this work? Only one way to find out. Well, go through the flow for me and tell me what we're missing. If we're missing anything, you guys have 15 seconds while I drink water. Remember, go through the flow.
I guess breaks might make it a little easier to read when we print it out, but
It could, but no, it has nothing with display now. Let's say the
as
display
long
is
as we
fine.
publish the view, and this is what the view is going to be. This should give us our list.
Would it?
Am I missing something?
I'm not sure. Let's see. Go through the flow. I'll give you 15 more seconds. Mm. Well, let's say I click on the roster, the action, and read it out and see, if it does what it's supposed to do. All right, 5 seconds. Mm-mm-mm-mm. This is a test, and you guys have failed. You guys have failed. Okay, so let's go through the flow, right? I click on roster. I reach here. Yeah, I reach here. I open up the database connection. I get all the database. I get the roster, all the characters, and the table, and I put it in roster, right? And then I go to the view, and then I go to the roster view, the page, and then I use the model that I was supposed to pass to it and display information from that model. Correct?
Except we didn't pass the model.
Except
Uh,
you did not pass the model. This is just an empty view here. Remember, whenever you do these, this means this is a contract. They say, hey man, I'm gonna work for you, but you gotta feed me the good stuff. You gotta give me the model that I need to work with in order for me to work with it. And I work with models only that say, hey, it's a list of characters. And if you feed me that kind, I will do my job and display all this cool stuff here. And but we have failed. We did not feed it. Look at that. We just said, hey man, just do your job, and I am feeding you. And then when we go there, it's not going to do its job because this is going to be null or empty, and then it's not going to do anything. It's going to crap out, and it's going to be hungry, and we don't, we don't want it to be hungry. Okay, so we need to feed it what it needs. In this case, what does it need? It needs the roster. Also, remember, view it is sort of a function that needs something. View it is a function that displays, that takes, yeah. View is something that takes an actual HTML page, displays it, and passes it a model if you have one. You see, this one it has different load. It has different versions. This is you don't pass anything, but one of the versions is that you pass the name. Another one is that you pass a model. You see it? And we're going to pass a model to it. Okay. Let's see. So what do you guys think if I run this? We're passing it. Are we feeding it? We are feeding it. And it is not even after midnight, so it will not crap out, I hope. But let's see. I'm going to run it, and let us hope that it works. It might crash, but at least if it crashes, it was going to be something that we might not be expecting. Or maybe we are. I don't know. That's the beauty of programming. Anything goes. So we haven't created a link for it. So we're just going to go straight to home roster. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Look at that. Isn't that sweet? I mean, the display can use a little work, like maybe a little spacing in between table.
But the information is there.
Exactly, yeah. But the information, the important thing, is there. So remember, we're getting this from the database, which is very, very powerful. It's very nice. And we got pretty much all the information that is required, because you see, this is the roster page, and this is our roster or character table. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Oh yeah, and all the information that's showing up here, at least the one we're displaying, is showing up here. Shablips. Look at that. That's very nice. That is very nice. And aside from styling, which again is very important, but which we will get to in the second phase, the information is here, and that's where kind of the important thing for us right now. Any questions or any statements? Are you guys good with this so far? Yes.
Yes. So far.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So now we have a roster page, which is pretty nice here. Let's see if we have enough time. Let's create, what is the number 2 task? Number 2 was create a character page. Okay, so let's do that. Well, have we satisfied number 1, display characters? We have, which is nice. Okay, so now let's go on to number 2. Create a character page. This one might be a little bit more, I don't know, maybe more complicated, maybe not. We'll see. But let's break it down. What do we need? Or are you guys pros that you already know what's needed? That we could just go do it. All right, go ahead, Dave. Describe what do we need. Talk to me.
You mean a public action result create character.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Create character. The blip.
And then should be some arguments, right? For create characters.
Well, it depends what you're doing. Are you displaying the form or processing the form? There's 2. Yeah, remember, whenever you deal with forms or any kind of data gathering, there's kind of 2 steps in a way. One is present the gathering tool or form in this case, right? And then process that information that you get from the user. That is it's very important. So create a character 1, present form to get info. And number 2 is process that info.
So we're doing the processing then.
Well, have we presented the form to get info yet?
No.
Exactly. So how do we do that?
We had to make a create character view.
Exactly. So let's do that. Let's see. Return view. Here. And let's create a character view. And create character. How do we create a quick page? Just steal it from someone. Yeah. Just steal it from one of these other pages here.
Just don't get sued.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just copy paste one of these other HTML pages, and call it create character. Create character. And remember, just double click, make sure you got the goods here. And gonna clear it up. H1 create character. So I have an HTML page that is supposed to gather information to create character. And how what do I need? How do I gather information to create character? Or what kind of? For now, let's keep it simple, and let's just gather 3 pieces of information: the name, the job, and the age. How about that? Let's keep it simple. How do I do that? I don't know. Okay, Dan, talk to me. Where am I at?
I want to make a form.
That's right. That is right. So form, yep.
We're going to create an action.
What do we want to call the action?
Should we go with process create character?
That is good. Yep. That's process create character. That works. And the method, remember, is post. That's very important. So that takes care of kind of the important basic info, which is required. And now we have a form, and what do we need? What information we want to gather?
Well, the name, job, and the age, right?
Exactly. Name, job, and age.
So we can plain text those on a line, and we want an input type.
Yep. So we all agree that is an input type, right? Input type text, at least for now. Beautiful.
Still doing IDs?
Yeah, always. ID name and name. Yeah, at least get used to it. I think it's important to get used to it. We forgot. Name.
Yeah.
And then break.
Break is always good.
What was the next one? Job.
Job. Same deal. Our input.
Yep.
All right.
Correct. Name, job. ID, job. Correct. And then
Age.
Right.
It's an integer.
That is going to be an integer, correct? So the type is probably going to have to be maybe a number, maybe. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see, age, ID, age. Beautiful. So we have the 3 information that 3 pieces of information that we need, and what else we need? We have a form.
We want to submit.
That's right. Correct. I mean, there's a couple of ways of doing that, but you could just say input type and then submit. And that will create a button. Also, no, and this is kind of a heads up. So far, when dealing with forms, we've only done pretty much just use input. And I mean, we quickly did go over drop down list and on some of the other ones, but make sure that you brush up on those a little bit because those are some of the ones that people use the most, especially drop down list or select list and select boxes and all that stuff, okay? But for now, this is good, I think. Okay, so now I have a form here and I'm gathering 3 pieces of information. It's a post. I'm gonna post it to the action process create character when I hit input. I mean the submit button here. So this looks somewhat okay as a create character page, does it? Does it not? If I wanted to see what it looks like, or if it's correct, what do I need to do?
You want to test it out on a?
Yeah. Just run it. Run it on the server, basically, right here. Let's use IX Express, which again creates a Play web server that displays it for you. So there you go. I have it set so it opens up on any page that I'm on over here. So this is what it would look like. And
Is that an actual setting that you can do? Because I've noticed that behavior too, and it's confusing.
oh yeah, it is under properties in one of these dudes here.
I don't know how I did that, but I managed to get that setting, and yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah, it's one of the settings in here. I think it's on the web here, or this one. It has different things when you click this. But yes, I mean it's kind of if it ever becomes a problem or because sometimes it does bad things and you're not sure why it's doing it. Yeah, you could fiddle around with this. Well, so the important thing is right. This is what our form looks like, and it's it's pretty sweet, right? This is sort of what we wanted, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to show you something here. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's startup object. The one I use is a little bit different, but yeah, I think it's this one of these things here. Somewhere here, maybe web. Yeah, this one. Start action, current page. So that means if I'm here and I start it, it's gonna open this thing first. It's useful. Or you could just say always open it on a specific page.
Yeah, I mean that kind of thing, having that power is.
Oh yeah, it's convenient. It's very convenient. Okay, so continuing, we have right here we have a form. So now that I have a form, now what do I need? So I have a view, and this loads the create character page that we have created, which is the form. So now we need sorry, go ahead.
A new action result for the process create character.
Exactly. Action result, and then we called it process.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Does it take? And remember, it's expecting a post. So you need the magic words. You need the magic words here. And what kind of data or which pieces of data is it expecting?
It takes 3 data: string name, string job, and integer age.
God damn it! Yes, guys, good. String name, string job, and age. Yeah, you guys are too advanced, way too advanced. Good. So let's assume that I hit submit on the, let's see, on the form, and I send this information to process create character here, and it gets mapped into these things, so it gets put in here, the values that were sent in, so we're able to use them here. So now, remember, the goal here is to create a character and put it into the database. That is the goal here. So I just kind of said that what we need to do, right? So we got the info, so we need to create a character and put it into the database. Should I write it down, or we already know how to do it? What do you think? Well, how do I create a, well, let's see. So create character, then put in database. So let's do the first part. How do I create a character?
Character, my character equals new character.
God damn it. That's right.
All the instance.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay, so I've got a question for you here.
Yes.
I don't even remember the way we originally did it.
Yeah.
But I had entered all this information in, and Visual Studio was telling me I could have done it better.
Yes.
It corrected it for me. Well,
Yes.
I clicked around,
Mhm.
and it's literally name equals name, job equals job, age equals age. Is that valid? Will that work for us?
What do you mean? Name equals name, job equals
Like,
job?
that's literally what it was telling me I could put in.
Sort of. Name equals. It depends how it sets it up, I guess. Do you mean like just character equals? Because what the next thing that we got to do here is.
I just posted the code snippet.
Oh, okay, yes. Let me see. Where is it here? Oh, that is. You mean to start instantiate the character, initialize it.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the short way, sort of, to do that. Yeah, that worked.
It almost seems redundant, but
No, it's correct.
it's good to know.
hmm We will get there in phase 2, I think, or sometime. But yeah, this works. Let me show you. If I cut and paste here somewhere.
We don't need the race.
Not the range, no, because it doesn't know what it is. But yeah, this works. It's another way of instantiating a character instance. It's kind of a faster way to do so. But we are not doing that yet. That's kind of like a perk, or a faster way of doing it. But yeah, but now that we're here though. By the way, you could do it like this. It's called instantiating a class using the constructor, or just instantiating the class. It's not even using the constructor. Yeah, this is just a fast way of instantiating a class. You may use it like this, but we're not right now. We want to kind of take the lumps and do it the slow way. But yes, just keep in mind that you can do it like this. It's it's kind of the best and faster way to do it, but we're not worried about that, not yet. Another way that we can do it, right? Do you guys remember? You guys don't remember. There's even a faster way.
Wait, calling in the model.
Yeah, something like yes. Wow, yes, something like
I don't
that.
remember the details of how to do it. I was trying to sort that out.
we can do something like this. Since it's expecting, we're passing something of type character, right? And we could call it my character. And since, let's see, since we're dealing with, oops, the hell? Okay. Let me finish this and it might close, but for now, since we're dealing with this, which has kind of like a special, it's dealing with characters, right? Oh, sorry. Damn it.
No.
We might be crashing here. We did not crash. We're good. Okay. Oh, wait. We did not make it to deal. We did not make the model.
Call the model here.
Yeah. But I think it still works, maybe. I'm not sure. But for now, that's something up that we could leave to kind of testing, perhaps. But normally, it is smart enough to map whatever you send in here and tries to put it in here if it has the same fields. And in this one, it has something, a name, job, age, and it will try to. But that is for another, another time. For now, we're keeping it simple, and we're chilling with it. Is that cool? Okay.
Good for now.
Yeah. For now, don't worry. We're gonna. I'm gonna hurt you when it gets to phase 2. Yeah. So my character. All right. You good, Dave? Good over
Yes.
there. Okay. So name. Oh, not name of. Just my character name is equal name, which is the name that was passed from the form. My character job, which is the job again we get from the form. And lastly, my character.age, which is something we got from there. So now that I have a cool character and it has information in it, name, job, age, how can I put it in the database? Well, we have created a character. We have established that here, right? It's there. But now, how do I put it into the database? How do I go about that?
We want to database character add.
Exactly. But before that, remember, create the database.
Oops, yeah.
Yeah.
Database.
I hear you. Database connection. Or the database connection. Let's see. Game DB. So now that we have the connection, then we can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I have a character and I would like to add it to the character table. And the way I do that is say, hey, add something of, it's expecting something of type character. And we're gonna put it there. And it's called my character, so therefore there. And it's in there, but how do I save it to the database? Because remember,
database.save changes.
Correct. That flushes the changes to the database. So now let's say, so I create the character, I put it in the database, I save the changes, and now what do we want to display? What kind of information do we want to display after we create a character?
The roster page?
Exactly. Yep. So we're going to remember redirect to action. Which action do we want to redirect to?
The roster.
Roster, correct. Yep. And well, let's see if this works. We have to say return. Sorry, return. This is return redirect to action roster. So let's run it. let's see. Let's see what we're doing here. Okay. So what is it? Home. Create character. Boom. I think we need to create some women's. I think because getting sausage threads is real in there. So what's the name of Thanos' daughter? I totally forgot about that.
Gamora.
There you go. Yeah. So we're gonna create Gamora. She kicks ass. I don't know how old she is. 89. No. 20,
Don't ask her that.
27. I don't know. So I'm going to submit. So if it works, what should I be getting? What should happen?
You should be. Well, ultimately, we'll be directed back to the roster page with her in there.
Oh, yeah. So let's see. Oh, let's see. Oh.
We didn't create the process create character page.
No, we didn't need to because we redirected to the roster. No, that's my bad. Here, you don't need to create this. It knows that you're in home already. So it, yeah. Well, So and the redirect, it redirected somewhere else. Well, it tells you. It's like, hey, it doesn't know. You see over here, you try to go to home /home processor. So there's no such thing, right? One thing that you can do to check if anything happened in the database, you refresh this table here, right? And let's see. So it actually. Oh yeah, nothing happened because we went to the wrong action. So that's good. So I'm going to, let's go there again. After I corrected where we're going to post to. And let's see if this works. Well, let's go back home and then what? Create character. Okay, so Act 2, Gamora. She kicks ass. And let's say she's 22 or something. Okay, I'm going to submit this time. Okay, it's doing something. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Look at that. Gamora, kick ass, and she's 22. And of course, you can see this by, again, checking out what information in the database, and there she is. She is in the database now. And again, yeah, we're kind of, it looks a little bit odd, but it's okay. But the information is here. So there we have it. We have a roster page and we have a create character page, and they both work, and they're connected to each other in a way, right? Because whenever we create a roster, create a character, we get kicked and redirected to this page, which is pretty sweet. How comfortable would you say you guys feel at least creating the roster page now and creating the create character page? Are you guys legit?
Not
Yes.
comfortable.
Okay, no, it takes practice. It takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. Remember, this has to be, before we move on to the second one, this has to be sort of second nature. Remember, your web pages need to bring all the boys to the yard. It's very important. But at least if you feel a little bit comfortable with this, you're in good grounds. If not, just go over it a little bit. Again, I will zip this and send it out so you guys can take a look at it. Do not try to use this with your database. Even though, I have to figure out how we can make it so it works with your database. But at least for now, just adapt it to yours. So just copy paste this from here to your database, because there are certain things that you could just update certain configs and it does it, but again, it's not doesn't jump at you right away. So yeah, we're not going to do the delete and the edit. It's getting a little late since we started a little late. But I mean, the edit, the delete should be pretty easy. It's just find it and delete it. And edit is kind of sort of similar. All right. A couple of questions, and again, from 1 to 10, how good are you guys here? How do you feel? Don't give me no 8s. You guys got 8s over here? You guys were throwing 8s last time.
Hey, I did this one.
You're right. Okay. I'll take an 8. I'll take an 8. I will accept the 8s. You are correct. 8s, 9s, 9s, no 9s.
The one that I didn't do is the roster page.
Yeah. At least 7s though. At least 7s were good. Okay, good. Yeah. So again, I'm gonna update some of this. I'm gonna transfer all of this and extend it, and put it on our Google Doc. I am going to zip this and send it to you guys, and we will move on to step 2, which, like I said, is expanding on the stuff we know and using it. Also, an assignment for you guys: try to find an image or something that represents you. Like if you're in an arena or something that represents you.
I've got commissioned artwork of such things.
No way! Oh shit! Yeah. Bringing out the gourmet shit on us. That's bullshit. Yeah. But no, that's good. Yeah, so find an image, a couple of images or something that would represent you in an arena or a battle, because we're going to start getting crazy with it, next time. Any questions? Are we jiggy? Next Sunday is Mother's Day, so I'm not sure. I guess I'll give you guys some homework. If we're around at some time, we probably won't be. I have no clue, but we will see. Like I said, it's gonna be. Go ahead.
Oh, I do have a request, and that's if we can get this video posted quickly. I do want to review over it tonight, possibly.
Yes.
And I'm trying to take some much more complete notes than I was. And,
No.
I'll be going back through like all the classes.
No, I hear you. And I haven't posted that last one too. I noobed up because that was where all the important stuff was. I kept assuming that you guys could look at the video, but it's not up. I don't think it is. I have to check.
I've been going directly to the YouTube page.
Yeah.
It's easier to get them there.
I put it there, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, but I will. I definitely will. Okay, so I think we're almost done for today. I'm going to talk to a couple of the people that might be interested to see where they at, and I'm going to try to catch them up. But my congratulations. I'm going to give you guys a fist bump. You guys deserve a fist bump because you guys are doing extremely well. And you guys are pretty much almost halfway there. Over halfway there of being junior developers. I am not kidding. Like if I gave you some of the exam questions, not exam questions, just tests, simple tests, you will be able to pass them and whatnot. Just on the second phase, once you do that, then it's gonna be pretty tasty, pretty easy, I think. But okay. I don't think I forgot anything. And if I did, I will post it later. But feel comfortable, get that image, and then get ready to do the do. I'll update when we meet again or what kind of homework or something we'll come up with. Okay.
Okay. So we're not sure when our next meeting is.
Well, I'm good anytime. I mean, like, how are you guys on Sunday? Sunday's gonna be weird though.
Sunday's not gonna work out.
Okay, so Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh no, yeah, no. I was assuming Monday's good, legit. Sunday is the one that's a little bit wobbly.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll put up some maybe homework or something in the meantime, just in case you guys. But yeah, Mondays is legit. And if anything else, I'll let you guys know. Uh, and then we could play around with some other stuff later on, some Xamarin or something. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. All right. Later. Take it easy.
Later.